Today we're going to look at Magic the Gathering cards that self-destruct. That means either they destroy themselves or they sacrifice themselves. I might even accept some things that's like instants and sorceries that sack other creatures. I'll start off with the Goblin Kaboomist. Kaboom it goes. Alright, we got a red 1 generic 1/2 Goblin Warrior. At the beginning of your upkeep, put a colorless artifact token named Landmine on the battlefield. With red, sack this artifact to deal 2 damage to target. Sack this artifact. This artifact deals 2 damage to target attacking creature without flying, because they can't throw the bomb that high. And then flip a coin. If you lose the flip, then Goblin Kaboomist deals 2 damage to itself. You don't hold on to that damn thing, you know, mid-thought. No thinking. Throw the grenade. Fire in the hole. Alright, next up we got Toads with Navinral's Disc is a great one. Is this like a staple in Commander in any way? Because back in the day, I played this all the time. Because I was like a mono blue deck, and I'm like, how do I get a board wipe out of this thing? I need a board wipe in mono blue, and my answer was Navinral's Disc. The 4-mana artifact enters the battlefield tap. You can pay 1, tap it to destroy all artifacts, the creatures, and enchantments. That's exactly what I needed. And these days, I guess I could play Planeswalkers in addition to the Navinral's Disc, and it won't even blow up my Planeswalkers. Planeswalkers have protection from Navinral himself. 101 ARG. Hey Nikachu, probably not going to catch the whole show. Welcome for part of it, that's for sure. Ball Lightning. That actually is a funny one. It doesn't technically blow up in... It's like a self-blow-up sort of thing. Okay, the triple red, 6/1 Trampler with haste. It's an elemental. At the beginning of the end step, sacrifice your Ball Lightning. It's a weird... It works. It works with the show, that's for sure. Make sure you do not attack into a first strike creature. I've done that a million times. Don't ask me what happens. You don't want to find out yourself. Now we got Platonic Liquid with the super chat. Ashling the Pilgrim. What's Ashling up to? Ashling... Oops. We got Ashling. The Pilgrim type. Red 1 generic 1/1 Elemental Shaman. Red 1 generic. Put a +1/+1 counter on Ashling the Pilgrim. If this is the 3rd time this ability has resolved this turn, remove all +1/+1 counters from Ashling the Pilgrim, and it deals that much damage to each creature and each player, including Ashling themselves. Ashling not gonna last that long. But that's a fiery card. So it's like a self. So what, you're gonna sink equal to, hold on, it deals that much damage to each creature. Put a +1/+1 if it's a 3rd time. So you could actually stack this, I think, a few more times, if I understand this correctly. It's going to be like an Anger the Gods on a creature. It's an Anger the Gods on the creature. Very flavorful for the show, that's for sure. Alright, Abzo, Force of Savagery. I don't know, it just dies instantly. There's not even a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's just Force of Savagery 0, and it's gone. You know, I don't count this one. This one's disqualified. Alright, what do you got for me, Islarf? We got Egon. God of Death. Is it, you know, it's Egon. Egon. Alright, Egons with your death. Okay, Egon, God of Death, black 2 generic 6/6 God. With Death Touch, at the beginning of your upkeep, exile 2 cards from your graveyard. If you can't, sacrifice Egon and draw a card. Wow! This is 3 mana for a 6/6. Talk about the power creep. I didn't even know this card existed. All you have to do is sacrifice 2 cards from your That's only 2 cards from your graveyard. We gotta fill that graveyard up. What's on the other side here? Okay, we have a black legendary artifact at the beginning of your upkeep, mill a card. And also, okay, that's useful. And pay a black 2 generic. Exile a creature card from your graveyard, draw a card. That's great! That thing's insane on the other side. This is just a perpetual card drawing machine, in my opinion. But then on the other hand, if you're drawing cards, then you don't have anything to sack for the 6/6. It's a Titan, basically. A 3-mana Titan. Just keep feeding it the humans. As many humans as you can. Or I guess any creatures. Whatever. Okay, moving on. We got Balder with the super chat. Archfiend of the Dross. What is this thing again? Oh, it's a 4-mana 6/6. Enter the battlefield with 4 oil counters on it. At the beginning of your upkeep, remove an oil counter on it. Literally counting down. Then if it has no oil counters on it, you lose the game. Oh my goodness! This is dangerous to your health. Not only does this thing blow up, it blows you up as well. Okay, whenever a creature an opponent control dies, its control lose 2 life. Proliferate it. Keep it alive. It's too dangerous to stay dead. Or it's too dangerous to die at all. Okay, we got Toilet Duck. Great Desert Helion. It's one of the, you know what, I'm looking at Arc enemy cards like they are AI generated cards at this point. Okay, we got a red, black, 1 generic 5/5 Helion, starting intensity 1. Menace, at the beginning of your upkeep, sacrifice Great Desert Helion unless you discard a card. If you discard a card this way, perpetually increase Great Desert Helion's intensity by 1. I don't even know what intensity is. When Great Desert Helion leaves the battlefield, you may discard your hand. If you do, draw that many cards equal to Great Desert Helion's intensity. I actually don't, like, I don't even know enough about intensity to even determine, and there's, like, nothing to explain it for me. If even's part of the show, I'm just gonna trust you there. Do we do Planar Chaos? Sure. People submit those stupid fake cards here. So, the playtest card, so I'll take anything. Okay, Maxi. Final Fortune. Take an extra turn after this one. At the end of that turn, you lose the game. I'll accept that. I'll accept that. But more or less, you self-destruct more than the cards. And you're at the count of 1. This is a very short count, that's for sure. Jesse, Devoted Druid when not abused. Yeah, but when do people actually do that? No, it does happen. We have a green 1 generic 0/2 that taps out a green. But every single you can untap it, so you can put a -1/-1 counter on it to untap it. To yeah, just untap it so you can add another green to your mana pool. Be careful. You do it 2 more times, this Devoted Druid is dead. And ain't coming back. Is Devoted Druid coming back, Dad? No. No, he's not, son. Or she. S. Lee, Demonic Pact. This card's going to the dumpster with you. Okay, black, 2 generic enchantment, and this is literally 4, 3, 2, 1. At the beginning of your upkeep, choose one that hasn't been chosen. Demonic Pact deals 4 damage to target creature or player, and you gain 4 life. Target opponent discards 2 cards, draw 2 cards, and you lose the game. So the whole board is getting sacked with this one. Oblivion Stone. This is basically like the modern day. This is the modern day Nivendrel's disc. People are like a little bit more geared towards this one than the disc, because you can protect some stuff with the Oblivion Stone. 3 mana artifact, pay 4, put a fate counter on a permanent, or pay 5, destroy everything that does not have a fate counter, and also remove all the fate counters that had fate counters. You can't perpetually have those fate counters, people. Muhammad, Doom Foretold. Whoops. I make 1 spelling error. I'm off by 1 letter, and Scryfall has no idea what I'm talking about anymore. Okay, we got a black-white 2 generic enchantment. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, that player sacks a non-land, non-token permanent. If that player can't, they discard a card. They lose 2 life, and you draw a card. You gain 2 life, and you create a 2/2 white knight creature token with vigilance. Then you sacrifice your Doom Foretold. I love it. Absolutely love it. Ironically, Nivendrel's disc got printed into Modern after Oblivion Stone. I know! And then sees no play. They tried, people. They tried. I thought I'd see a little bit more play than nothing, but whatever. Planar Chaos. Hold on. Planar. Was that the card you wanted? Planar Chaos. Oh! I thought this was like a type of card. Okay, we got a red 2 generic enchantment. At the beginning of your upkeep, flip a coin. If you lose the flip, you have to sack the Planar Chaos. Okay. Good luck keeping it around. Whenever a player plays a spell, that player flips a coin. If he or she loses the flip, counter that spell. Oh, that's wild. You'd be like, you play your spell, you hope for heads, instead it's tails, and you lose your damn creature. I don't know if standstill counts. Yeah, you're right. I like this card. This would be an interesting include in Modern. Anyone play this? No, this is an awkward card to play in Commander. It's a 2-mana enchantment. Whenever a player plays a spell, sack standstill. If you do, each of that player's opponents draws 3 cards. Somehow, I guess you can build your deck. You gotta use Eminence or something. Eminence plus standstill equals, I don't know, win somehow. Actually, you still can't play spells. You can't abuse anything. Oh, the standstill is awkward. Basically, everyone draws 3 cards except the person who wants to blink. So don't be comboing off, people. Don't be comboing off. We got Nalia here. Piru. The Volatile. Holy moly. Double black, double white, double red, and 2 generic for a 7/7 Elder Dragon. Flying lifelink. At the beginning of your upkeep, sack it unless you pay Mardu. When it dies, it deals 7 damage to each non-legendary creature. You know, does not actually sack its... Well, I guess you could. So I guess with this type of card, you don't want to pay the upkeep. Because you actually... Okay, I get it. So actually, this card has the option, don't pay upkeep. When it dies, you just deal damage to everything. To the non-legendary creatures, that's a bit weird. Pledging loyalty to its fellow, I don't know, legendary brethren. Goblin Grenade! I'll accept that. Alright, 1 red. You gotta sack them goblins! The whole family is just the Mario screaming sound effect. I mean, the whole creature type is it's like, okay, what are you gonna be when you grow up? Are you gonna be like a cannonball? Are you gonna be a fireball? Are you gonna be thrown in a slingshot? Figure out what you want to do with your life. Goblin Grenade deals 5 damage to our creature or player. I am very nervous when I'm up against a goblin deck and they're holding like 2 cards in their hand and they're not playing them. Because at a certain point, they just spew their cards onto the battlefield. Like, they're goblins. They're not that expensive. And if they have like, if they've got these 1 or 2 cards left in their hand, I have to keep my life total above 5 because I'm going to get grenaded to death. I'm going to get double grenaded to death. That's the ultimate feel bad. Alright, Bean Pot. Goblin Bomb. Hope that doesn't get me demonetized. Can I say bomb on YouTube? Okay, red 1 generic enchantment. During your upkeep, you may choose to flip a coin. Target opponent calls heads or tails while the coin is in the air. If the flip ends up in your favor, put a fuse counter on Goblin Bomb. Otherwise, remove a fuse counter from Goblin Bomb. Remove 5 fuse counters. Oh my god. What are the odds of getting to 5? From Goblin Bomb. Sacrifice Goblin Bomb. Goblin Bomb deals 20 damage to target player? Holy moly! This is like a proliferate's dream. And you need to proliferate. I don't know what the odds of you getting 5 counters on this thing with like within a reasonable amount of time. I don't know what the average is. It's not gonna be. It's 5 times. It's like 1 out of 5 times. 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 1 out of 5. Just to do it immediately, you have to count all the times that you're going up and going down. I don't even think they play tested this card properly. Wizards probably doesn't even know what the average time it takes to get Goblin Bomb going up. I think it would take like 20 turns to naturally get to 5 fuse counters. How about a rocket launcher? Yeah, goblins could be a rocket launcher one day as well. Braids Cabal Minion. I guess so. We have Braids Cabal Minion, 4 mana 2/2. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, that player sacrifices an artifact, creature, or land. In theory, you might have to sack your Braids. I'm not entirely sure, though. Does Birthing Pod count? Not really. You're sacking everything else, but you're not sacking the pod itself. At least Braids, you could sack Braids. It's possible. Oh, Gemstone Mine. This is like one of the more... Oh, this card used to be expensive. They've like massively reprinted this card into dust. Now it's just $1. At $1. Comes to play with 3 mining counters on it. So if you want a multicolor land that it's any mana with no downside except it's gonna sack itself eventually. The Gemstone Mine is your card. Tap, remove a mining counter from Gemstone Mine, add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. If there are no mining counters on it, you gotta sack the Gemstone Mine. But hopefully the game isn't lasting that long, so who cares? What we got? Larry with Doom Necromancer. Black 2 generic 2/2 human cleric mercenary. We can pay a black. Sacrifice the Doom Necromancer. They knew they were doomed. Return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Holy moly. Many necromancers share the same last words, the ones that conclude the undeath ritual. I bring you back to life in exchange for my life. That's how it goes for the Doom Necromancer. Bulky, deranged psychopath? Doesn't even sound like a Magic the Gathering card. Deranged. Such card does not exist. I don't even know what this is. Deranged Assistant, Deranged Outcast, Deranged Whelp. Which one of these were supposed to be at Bulky? I guess the Deranged Hermit? Oh, maybe you're talking about the Deranged Outcast, because this one sacks itself. We got a green 1 generic 2/1 human rogue. Green 1 generic sack a human, which could be itself. Put 2 counters on target creature. That is a very underwhelming card. Sack a human, just put counters on something else. I have a feeling this was not the card, but you know. It fits the show. Good freak. The best of all the types of freaks. Impeding Disaster. Let me search the name better. That's right, please do your homework. Impeding, is it impeding disease? Impeding something. People don't even know you're... Oh, it's impending disaster. Maybe I read it wrong. Okay, red 1 generic enchantment. During your upkeep, if there are 7 or more lands in play, sacrifice impending disaster. Destroy all the lands! Oh my goodness. The goblins are in charge of maintenance. Why not set it on fire now and call it a day? That's how they maintain things. Is it broken? Burn it down. We don't need it anymore. So basically, like, you cap the lands at 6. You want to go up. During your upkeep, if there are 7 or more lands in play. Oh no, it's just in play. It's not per person. Oh, this thing's insane. Why isn't this banned in Commander? I thought, you know, you don't like land destruction. You don't like balance and crap like this. This is exactly the type of card that would get banned in Commander. 7 lands? That's like 2 turns worth of lands. And then you lose everything. Oh, this card's wild. Yeah, 7 lands total, not just you. Everything self-destructs in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Well, I mean, I guess what ends up happening is no one plays lands after that. Get your mana artifacts out there, people. Okay, we got next Christopher B with Sarkhan the Mad. I used to know what that card did. Okay, oh, it only goes down on loyalty. That's what. All right, 5 mana for a 7 loyalty Planeswalker. One of those that will only get worse, not get better. Why does he even have 7? Actually, you can't even destroy itself. It's impossible. These are even mana loyalty abilities. Reveal the top card of your library and put it in your hand. Sarkhan the Mad deals damage to himself equal to the card's converted mana cost. Ah, that's how it's done. That's how it's done. And -2, target creature's controller sacks it. What the hell? Target creature's controller sacrifices it. Okay, so you target and you have to sack it. Then that player puts a 5/5 dragon. You giving them dragons? That sounds terrible. -4, each dragon you control deals damage equal to its power to target player. All right, not bad. Not bad. All right, we got Platonic Liquid with, I don't know if you can see, Drops Gaming drafted 5 gifted. Oh, thank you so much, Drops Gaming. Where is it? Do I see something like that? I don't see it. Okay, thank you. Drops Gaming. I'm giving you the best super chat I have. It's the best super chat sound effect. Yeah, I don't get any notification here. Drops Gaming is the real MVP of the show. Thank you so much. Whoops. King Ginger. Free for the chat. Hope you're doing well, Nikachu in chat. You're welcome. King Ginger is enjoying the show. So we will give the super chat to Rugal. All the gifted super chats always to new viewers. Worldfire with Jorah's suspend ability. I don't know the suspend ability, but I do know World Fire. World Fire, you basically burn everything down. Hold on, what is... Come on, so let's look up Giora. World Fire, honestly, not really in the spirit of the show, but maybe Giora is. I like the idea of the suspend. I didn't think about that, but that definitely feels like a countdown thing. Where... I don't know which one of these Gioras has a suspend ability or gives suspend. Exile a non-land card from your hand, put 4... Oh! You're gonna suspend Wildfire with Giora. That is sick. Yeah, that'll work. Okay, that works plenty fine for me. That's neat. So you take World Fire, you exile it with 4 time counters on it. I mean, that is the most impactful 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 I could possibly imagine. Oh, Blastoderm! The old Blasty! I want the OG picture. It's because I used to play with this card. It's green, 2 generic for a 5/5 with fading. Blastoderm can't be the target of spells or abilities. So if you don't know what fading is, you gotta remove a fading counter on it. And if you can't, poof goes the Blastoderm. Goodbye. Zanzi with a booby trap. 6 mana as booby trap comes into play. Name a card other than basic land card and choose an opponent. The chosen player reveals each card he or she draws. Then, when the chosen player draws the name card, sacrifice booby trap. If you do, booby trap deals 10 damage to that player. Smack him for that 10 damage. Hold on, you have to name a card? That's weird. So you just keep revealing cards that you draw until you hit the card. And it can't be a basic land. I wonder how you can abuse this card, but maybe it's not so easy. Oh, I guess you could look at the top card of their library with something like one of the baubles. That's a good way of doing it. 101 Arg, Orcish Mine. The orcs know how to do it. This is an old orc card. This is pre-Lord of the Rings. They didn't make many orcs. There was like some orc cards a long time ago. I believe orc is like heavily inspired by Lord of the Rings. I can't remember if it's actually invented by Lord of the Rings. I think it's I think the orc predates Lord of the Rings, but I'm not sure. But anyway, the old one. Red 1 generic, enchant land. Orcish Mine comes into play with 3 orc counters on it during your upkeep, and whenever target land becomes tapped, remove an orc counter from Orcish Mine. When the last counter is removed from the mine, destroy the land Orcish Mine enchants, and it deals 2 damage to that land's controller. Oh, you want to put on someone else's land. Slowly mine it away until there's nothing left. And I guess the mine collapsed on, I don't know, your opponent. Houston! Didn't cons have orcs? I don't know. Maybe it did. Okay, we got Houston with Asarak, the Arch. Isn't that stupid? This is that stupid dungeon thing, right? Okay, we have a black 2 generic. When enters the battlefield, if you haven't completed Tomb of Annihilation, return Asarak, the Archlich, to its owner's hand and venture into the dungeon. Whenever Asarak... I'm probably pronouncing this card's name wrong. Asarak. No, I think it's fine. Asarak at the Archlich attacks for each opponent. You create a 2/2 black zombie creature token unless that player sacrifices a creature. Actually, I think this doesn't even sack itself. It does leave the battlefield, but no self-destruct in my opinion. Tyler, we've got Ludovic's test subject. Okay, blue 1 generic, 0/3 with defender. For 2 mana, put a hatchling counter on Ludovic's test subject. Then if there are 5 or more hatchling counters on it, remove them all and transform it into this 13. What the hell? Anyway, I also don't think the self-destructs. But this is a very funny creature. This is like a super, what's it called? I want to say it's like a super delver. It's a 13/13 with trample. What did it start off with? Just start off as a 2-mana defender. Okay, Mamfaxo. My love for you is the only thing that I can think of that will self-destruct without love you too boo being said by you. Love you too boo then. You're welcome. No card, but, you know, I appreciate the chat loving me. Oh, hold on. Okay, so we have, we got Dick here. Orcish Artillery. Yorks know how to have a good time. Oh, look, the orcs are all over the history of Magic the Gathering. With 3 mana, 1/3. Tap. Orcish Artillery deals 2 damage to target creature or player and 3 damage to you. Also doesn't blow itself up. If it did 3 damage to itself, it would count. The original card gotta die, people. It gotta go boom. It gotta go to the graveyard. Maybe I'll accept exile as well in some cases. Emil. Blood Pet. Is made for... There we go. That's what I'm... It's a big toad. I think it looks like a toad. It says it's a thrall. I don't even know what a thrall is. Does anyone question the creature types in this game? Black 1/1. Sack it and add a black to your mana pool. It definitely dies. Okay, there we go. Give you the cracking sound effect. It's good stuff. Need OG art? Oh, this is disgusting. All right, moving on. TCG dude, good morning. Turiat with Urza's Silex. 3 mana legendary artifact. 4 mana, tap, exile it. Each player chooses 6 lands they control. Destroy all other permanents. Oh god. Activate only as a sorcery. When Urza's Silex is put into exile from the battlefield, you can pay 2. If you do, search your library for a Planeswalker card, reveal it, put it in your hand, then shuffle. That's a lot of value for exiling this damn thing. Good freak. Time Bomb. It's literally a time bomb. Yeah. Okay, so this is going to be the thumbnail is what you're telling me? 4 mana. At the beginning of your upkeep, put a time counter on Time Bomb. Pay 1, tap, sacrifice Time Bomb. Time Bomb deals damage to each creature and each player equal to the number of time counters on Time Bomb. This is fantastic. This is the card of the show, people. This is the card of the show. It doesn't even have a bomb picture on it. This is so weird. This is so abstract looking. Oh, it's Amy Weber again, who did... Amy's the Stasis gal, right? Oh no, that was Faye Jones. I want to say Amy Weber also does like really abstract stuff. Maybe I'm wrong. Ratchet Bomb. Another... We're getting all the bombs out here. Pay 2. Put a charge counter, tap, put a charge counter on Ratchet Bomb. Tap, sack it, destroy each non-land permanent with converted mana cost equal to the number of charge counters on Ratchet Bomb. I also loved cards like this back in the day. In a mono blue deck, this is like, it's the only way you destroy things. It's really hard to get those 1-drops. They sneak in under you. Amy is the Time Walk gal. Oh yeah, that was a card. Oh, that's where I remember her from. Like, I didn't understand this card. Like, what does this have to do with Time Walk? Then people mention there's, like, clocks on their faces. And I'm like, that's a little bit loose. But, you know, the art direction back then was insanely loose. All right, we're going to look at more cards that go kaboom. But before that, you want to know where you get them cards from? You're going to get them at FusionGamingOnline.com. And, you know, unlike the cards that you're going to play in your deck and at your local game store, something that's not ticking down is coupon code Nikachu to get 5% off all your purchases when you're buying those, I don't know, explosive cards with my coupon code at FusionGamingOnline.com. We're also going to thank Mana Traders, the premier place for renting Magic cards online. You can support the channel by renting decks, playing either competitively or creatively. Play casually. There's a tournament practice like arena there. You can play that you can play unlimited games for free. Most people don't know about those. But the thing you're gonna have to pay for, however, is the subscription to Mana Traders to play any deck you want in those arenas. You can support the channel using my Mana Traders link in the description below, or save 10% off your first 2 months using coupon code Nikachu_B3R. Back to the sweet cards. She also did the OG Icy Manipulator. That card also doesn't make any sense to me, but it's a cool card. That one I feel is okay. The one didn't have to There's no explanation needed. Tyler. Collateral damage. Isn't a permanent, but it makes things go boom. Okay, we got a red instant. As additional cost to cast this spell, sack a creature. Qualifies. Okay, it deals 3 damage to any target. My God. This is just a crappy lightning bolt. As far as I understand. Oh, we have super chats. What am I doing here? Oh, let's get back to super chat world. If Echo counts, I will count Echo. Shah of Nar is a bit funny. 4 mana, 6/6, trample, Echo of 0. So you just choose to not pay it. When Shah of Nar Isle's Echo cost is paid, each opponent may draw up to 3 cards. Oh, that is weird. So effectively, so what do you do with this card? Do you sack it equal to its, like, I don't know, its power? I'm trying to figure out how to make use of this. I guess you just want to keep it and give people 3 cards. It's a group hug card. Ma'am Faxo. My love for you. Oh, I got that one already. I missed out on Platonic. Sorry about that. And then we have King Ginger here with Boom Pile. Boom Pile. 4 mana artifact. Tap, flip a coin. If you win the flip, destroy all non-land permanents. That's wild. But it's like a bad Navinral's desk. I guess there's no cost to activate, but, you know, you're flipping a coin whether it works or not. Yeah, we did Goblin Grenade already. Okay, Christopher B, always with suggestions. Dispeller's Capsule. It's a white artifact. White 2 generic tap. Sacrifice Dispeller's Capsule. Destroy target artifact or enchantment. We going down together, people. This is like... What does Seal of Cleansing do? I feel like it does the same thing, but for less mana. Okay, Pedgeman, what about Playcrafter? I'll see in a minute. Bonus points for the rules Easter egg. It's also visible on Scryfall at the bottom. You are a huge fan of rules Easter eggs. Okay, black 2 generic, 3/2 human shaman. When Playcrafter enters the battlefield, each player sacrifices a creature or planeswalker. Each player who can't discards a card. Yeah, I would... There is, in some world, you sack this thing itself. So they all go down together. I'll count it. Sean McCartney, Divine Intervention. What the hell is this? This is the draw card game. This is the draw the game card. 8 mana. Enters the battlefield with 2 intervention counters on it. At the beginning of your upkeep, remove an intervention counter from Divine Intervention. If there are no more games, the game ends in a draw. Sorry, people, gotta shuffle up and deal it again. We all don't win, but we all don't lose. In some games, people prefer a draw than to... The draw is worth more than losing. I'm talking to you, chess players out there. And I'm staring at you with an evil eye. The pitch elementals. Grief. Good grief, this card. Enters the menace. Enters the battlefield. Target opponent reveals their hand. You choose an online card from it, and that player discards a card. But most people will evoke it onto the battlefield. You gotta exile a card from your hand. Comes into play and just poof, it's gone. Along with the rest of your hand. We got Houston Herald of Leshrac. Oh, did we do this one? Or I've seen this a million times in other shows. 7 mana for a 2/4. Yeah, okay. It's got cumulative upkeep. Gain control of a land you don't control, and then you get +1/+1 for each land you control but don't own. And then when it but if there's no more lands to take, you got to blow this guy up, and then when it leaves play, everyone gets back their lands. What a wild card. Magus of the Disc from Chris Kiger. Okay, 4 mana for a 2/4. It's literally holding a disc. Is that what it does? It's like it's a nuclear weapon in there. Magus of the Disc enters the battlefield tapped. Pay 1, tap, destroy all artifacts, creatures, and enchantments. Very bizarre. How do you use this thing? You like just set it down and then run? All right, run! Get out of here! Let's planeswalk out of this place. You can't even planeswalk. You're just a Magus. You're not even a planeswalker. No one has that plan B after they set, like, they set us up the bomb. You know what I mean? A Blackbird says, the Gitrog monster. I thought this thing is sustainable. Okay, it's 5 mana for a 6/6 death touch. At the beginning of your upkeep, sacrifice the Gitrog monster unless you sack a land. You may play additional lands on each of your turns. Whenever one or more land cards are put into your graveyard from anywhere, draw a card. You know what? I think I've passed a few other cards like this, but I'm disqualifying this card. I think because you draw enough cards and because you can play additional lands, the odds of you sacking this thing are basically nil or very, very unlikely. Fun combo, notably with indestructibility and Magus of the Disc. Oh God! Don't be giving people ideas, Jack Torborg. Patrick! Just finished your video about the slivers and saw you got a stream. Yeah, of course. No. We always streaming. Oh, this is the Reanimator card. 3 mana. You may choose to play Necromancy as an instant. You can? If you do, bury it at end of turn. When you play Necromancy, choose target creature card in any graveyard. When Necromancy comes into play, put that creature into play as though it were just played. Necromancy becomes a creature enchantment and that targets that creature. If Necromancy leaves play, bury the creature. What is that weird? You may cast Necromancy as though it had flash. If you cast anytime a sorcery couldn't have been cast, the controller of the permanent exiles. Okay, so it does sack itself under those circumstances. So I'll give it a pass. It's a very awkward card, though. Mario! Do I have a Mario sound effect here? It's not a good one. That's the best I had. That wasn't a screaming sound effect. I think, is it Porphyry nodes or Periphery nodes? I think it's, let me look up nodes. I think you mean Periphery, yeah. Periphery nodes. This is a great card. Very underrated. White enchantment. At the beginning of your upkeep, destroy the creature with the least power. It can't be regenerated. If 2 or more creatures are tied for the least power, you choose one of them. When there are no creatures on the battlefield, you have to sacrifice the Periphery nodes. So, yeah. I think this is a great card. Just 1 mana, everyone loses like creatures very slowly, and if they don't have any creatures on the battlefield, then they have to sack their biggest thing. This is an enduring ideal classic, absolutely. Lava Brink Floodgates. We got 4 mana artifact. Tap, add double red. That's good. That's not bad. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, that player may put a Doom counter on Lava Brink Floodgates or remove a Doom counter on it. Then if it has 3 more Doom counters on it, sacrifice Lava Brink Floodgates. When you do, it deals 6 damage to each creature. That's insane. Also, it taps for double red. I think that's also insane. Cute Spider. Thank you so much for the super chat. Vile Spawn Spider self-destructs and sprays even more spiders. That is disgusting. Vile Spawn Spider. The last thing I need to think of is a big juicy spider bursting, and there's like tinier spiders just running all over the place. I've seen enough of those. People like swat a big spider in Australia with a broom or something, and then pop goes like a bunch of other spiders. Nightmare food. So blue-green for a 2/3. It's a Simic spider with reach. Oh yeah, I forgot. Spiders have reach because they are in the trees. Because we all know the trees are as high as the clouds, right? At the beginning of your upkeep, mill a card. Alright, 4 mana, tap, sack, Vile Spawn Spider, create a 1/1 green insect creature token for each creature card in your graveyard. Activate only as a sorcery. True story. Funnily enough, Vile Spawn does spawn insects instead. Yeah, not spiders. Strange. It's like all the food that it ate is now coming alive. Oliver. Pashalik Mons. Also every other goblin in the game. I know. You know, there was some worry that this was just going to be like this big goblin show. But you guys are very creative. Very, very creative. There's a bunch of cards that self-destruct. Red 2 generic for a 2/2 goblin warrior. When Pashlik Mons or another goblin you control dies, it deals 1 damage to any target and pay 4 mana. Sack a goblin, which could include itself. Create 2 1/1 red goblin creature tokens. What else do we have here? We had kerosene with kudzu. Oh, sorry, kudzu. Is it kudza? No, it was kudzu. It's whatever this thing is. 3 mana enchant land. When enchant land becomes tapped, destroy it! The land's controller attaches kudzu to a land of his or her choice. Oh god. Next we have more super chats. They're like getting underneath my radar. How about my homeboy, Child of Alara? Thanks so much, Bryce the Hottie. We got it for Wooberg, 6/6 Avatar. Still don't know what an avatar is. This is creepy. It's like, it looks like a baby with no skin on it. All right, Trample. When Child of Alara dies, destroy all non-land perms. They can't be regenerated. Does not sack itself though. You can't. There's no means of sacking. No ticking time bomb attached to it. So I gotta disqualify it. Also creepy image. But thanks for the super chat anyway. Platonic Liquid, thanks so much. Bomb Squad doesn't meet the criteria, but I had to. Well, just like the Child of Alara. You paid for it, so it's still going to be on the show. 4 mana for a 1/1 dwarf. Tap, put a fuse counter on target creature. At the beginning of your upkeep, put a fuse counter on each creature with a fuse counter on it. Whenever a creature has 4 more fuse counters on it, remove the fuse counters from it and destroy it. That creature deals 4 damage to its controller. That sounds still pretty good. Put a fuse counter on each creature. So I'm put a fuse counter. Oh, so you could just put it on another creature, is what you're telling me. If it sacks something else, I think it's still fine. This is literally like a dynamite card. Avatar is a body a god inhabits. Ah, okay. So it's a god in, like, I don't know, physical form. Muhammad with Stensia Uprising. Oops. Which one? There we go. 4 mana enchantment. At the beginning of your end step, create a 1/1 red human creature token. If you control exactly 13 permanents, you may sacrifice Stensia Uprising. When you do, it deals 7 damage to any target. Do I have a good zapping sound effect here? I need more sound effects. I'm missing out. I got a lot of empty space here on my stream deck. We're gonna add more sound effects to the show, that's for sure. Okay, Bamfaxo says it's not the big spiders you got to worry about here in Australia. In Australia, mate, they're friendly and will sit in your hand. The little ones, they are the ones that will kill you for accidentally looking at them. Okay, I'll keep that in mind. Frankly, I will, as a Canadian, I'm going to stay on the safe side and avoid all the spiders. It's going to be like bear. I can't tell the difference between the big and small ones. Maybe to you guys, like, this is a small one. And the really, really big one, that's a medium-sized one. Do fetches count? They go, they go boom all the time. No. That feels a bit too loose. And okay, Dan also says Avatar is a god's fleshy mech suit. Ew. Sounds terrible the way you put it. Good accent. Well, I didn't. Yeah, but when I try to do like an English accent, I go into an Australian accent. I guess I've watched enough movies with like Crocodile Dundee that I could pull that off. What else do we have here? All right, planar collapse. Right, we got planar collapse. No, I'm not going to do the whole thing in an Australian accent. White, 1 generic enchantment. During your upkeep, if there are 4 more creatures in play, sacrifice planar collapse and destroy all creatures. Those creatures cannot be regenerated. Four creatures. There are so many of these cards. They're just waiting for enough creatures to come into play, and they're all gone. And they see like so little. I would think that this is a very good commander card. It's on the list. It's 22 cents. Maybe it used to be more expensive. If there are 4 more creatures on the back, like if you don't care that much about creatures, which honestly must mean that you have a really crappy deck. Like you're, it's not very fun. It's not very fun at all. And the Australian says, "I don't sound like that." Well, you don't. Well, you're not me. That's for sure. Okay, raise up lights sounds like razor blades in an Australian accent. Is that a card? Raise up lights? No. Okay, I thought you were talking about a card. You're just talking about the accent. That's fine. That's fair. Okay, what else do we have here? Oh, I like that one. Illusions of Grandeur. Now, in a 20 life total game, so it's a 4-mana enchantment, cumulative upkeep 2, so pay 2, then 4, then 6, then 8, or you gotta sack it. Comes into play, you gain 20 life. Leaves play, you lose 20 life. In a 20-player game, if you donate this to somebody, they dead. I mean, they're gonna be very unhappy to realize that they gotta pay the upkeep. They didn't even gain the life. But if they don't pay that tax, they're gonna lose the life. That's just how it is. That's how this game works. The Jaded with Powder Keg. I didn't want to give it away when we talked about Ratchet Bomb, but this was the OG card that I had to play back in the day. 2-mana artifact. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may put a fuse counter on Powder Keg. It's like a crappier Ratchet Bomb because you could forget that fuse counter at your upkeep, and it's a huge feel bad. Tap, sack, Powder Keg, destroy each artifact and creature with converted mana cost equal to the number of fuse counters on the Powder Keg. And that's the most important thing. It says artifacts and creatures, but not non-land permanent. So enchantments get to stay alive, planeswalkers get to stay alive. Oliver Marth. IB Half Heart, exact opposite of the show, so much it may be worth looking at. Okay, Half Heart. It's okay. If it doesn't work, I just give it the buzzer. That's all. Is anyone offended by the buzzer? 4-mana 3/2. Don't be offended by. Everyone's got the buzzer before. You know, Christopher B, who's an OG of the channel. He's gotten the buzzer millions of times, and he is still. You look at his suggestion. He's just plowing through. So don't worry if you get the buzzer. It's all good. 4-mana 3/2, Goblin Advisor. Whenever another goblin you control becomes blocked, sacrifice it. If you do, it deals 4 damage to each creature blocking it. Sack 2 mountains, put 2 1/1 red goblin creature tokens onto the battlefield. Everyone but me, charge. This actually makes me think that whenever another goblin you control becomes blocked, you have to sack it. Yeah, so it doesn't sack itself, sacks everything else. Has no chance of sacking itself, it seems. Also makes me think we should have a show about going all in. Okay, from Drops Gaming, suggestion because he gifted. All right, thanks so much for the super chat. Let's look for, where's Drops Gaming? Drops Gaming, where are you? If you have a suggestion. Oh, here it is. Okay. Here we're gonna do 2. Okay, I like funnel webs and mouse spiders. Oh, that's not even a card. Okay, but also Day Mogoth Woe Eater. It eat, huh? Okay. With a AI generated casting cost, as far as I'm concerned, we got a green, a hybrid of Gruul. No, sorry, a hybrid of Golgari, a black, and 1 generic for 7/6. That's pretty big for a 4-mana card. Very big. Demon. At the beginning of your upkeep, sack a creature. That could be itself. When you sack, but if you sack itself, each opponent discards a card, you draw a card, you gain 2 life. I don't even know if I want to do that. Oh, you could sack it at any time for any reason. So we want to keep a 7/6 creature for 4 mana. It's not bad. Anyway, it's a great card. If phasing counts... I know what Teferi's Isle is, but phasing don't count. Because it's not actually gone. It's just entering another... What is phasing anyway? Is it entering another dimension temporarily or something? Is it taking a break and like going back in time? Stetson! We got Lightning Skelemental. A little surprised this card doesn't see a little bit more play. Red, red, black for a 6/1 elemental skeleton. Trample and haste. Whenever Lightning Skelemental deals combat damage to a player, that player discards 2 cards. Wild card. At the beginning of the end step, sacrifice Lightning Skelemental. It sacks itself. It's basically the Super Ball Lightning. It's exactly Ball Lightning plus Blightning. They should have just called it the Blightning Skelemental. That would have made just as much sense. Fairies protection plus state. I heard that's a combo. I heard that is a bit of a combo. Phasing is removed from existence while it's phased out. So what if you're a human removed from existence? Or do you just not feel that time passing? Matt! Spark Trooper. Ah, the Lifelink Ball Lightning. They're gonna go through all the Ball Lightnings. One day we're gonna have a, so we have Lifelink. We have hand discard. One day we're gonna draw cards. We need the blue Ball Lightning. It's gotta be like double red, double blue, 6/1 trample haste, and like when it deals damage, I draw 2 cards or something like that. That would see play. And what other Ball Lightnings could be invented? I'm sure you guys could be very creative. Okay, Spark Trooper, white, red, 1 generic for a 6/1 trample, lifelink, haste, and at the beginning of the end step, you gotta sack it. Did we do Dark Depths? Oh! This is more like cards that tick down from 10. Comes in with 10 ice counters on it. You can pay 3 to remove it. Remove 1, and when you sack it, you get a 20/20 black avatar creature token. Phasing is like the MTG version of going invisible. I don't know if that's like that. Because if you're invisible, you can still get hit, right? But when you phase in Magic, I mean, you're just not there. You're just gone. The black Ball Lightning could have infect. Oh, don't give them ideas, Jess. My God. Don't give them ideas. We don't need a trampling, infecting Ball Lightning. The blue Ball Lightning should be Ball in Light. The Ball in Lightning! I love it! That comment is worth a sound effect. Alright, Turia with Promise of Tomorrow. Okay, well, white 2 generic enchantment. Whenever a creature you control dies, exile it. At the beginning of each end step, if you control no creatures, sacrifice Promise of Tomorrow and return all cards exile with it to the battlefield under your control. Whenever a creature you control dies, exile. Okay, so... And then if you have nothing, you get them all back. I would think this is the card people want to play. But a lot of people are always trying to bring back their creatures from the graveyard to the battlefield. This is the way it's done. Death can wait. Yeah, it can. Just delay it for a little while. All Arms Dealer. Red 2 generic 1/1 Goblin. Pay 2, sack a Goblin. Deals 4 damage to target creature. That's not... Oh, but only a target creature. That sucks. But it's on flavor. It's fine. And we also have... Let's get... Who do we miss? Okay, let's get one from Bastion. Sapling Burst. I like this card. Because I won a lot with it back in the day. 5-mana enchant with Fading 7. Remove a Fading counter, and you have a creature equal to... XX equal to the number of fading counters on Sapling Burst. So remove 1 counter, you got a 6/6. Remove 2 counters, you have 2 5/5 creatures. Then, of course, it has fading, so you have to remove 1 every single turn. And if you can't, you got to sack the Sapling Burst. When Sapling Burst leaves the battlefield, destroy all tokens put onto the battlefield with Sapling Burst. They can't be regenerated. I don't even know why they need to include that clause. I guess if I put a counter on them, they would stay there for forever. But they shouldn't be there for forever anyway. All right, we got some super chats. One from Blue Bomber. Mimic Vat. The tokens explode. Yeah, but does the card explode? Pay 3 to imprint. Whenever a non-token creature dies, you may exile the card. If you do, return each other card exiled with Mimic Vat to the owner's graveyard. Pay 3. Tap. Create a token that's a copy of a card exiled with Mimic Vat. Gains haste. Exile it at the beginning of the next end step. Card stays on the battlefield, though. See, Blue Bomber got the buzzer. Blue Bomber gonna be back tomorrow. Blue Bomber not going anywhere. Stormwind. Sorry I'm late. Mog Bomber. I think it was called. I guarantee you, some Mog is going to show up in the search. Okay, we got the Mog Bombers. 4 mana for a 3/4. If any other creature comes into play... Oh god, you have to sack the Mog Bombers? Oh, but it deals 3 damage to target player. So no matter what, it's basically 4 mana, definitely deal 3 damage, no matter what. It's not the worst card. That's an interesting design that they could bring back. They zap you for like 3 damage. Very interesting. Let's get Christopher B's Culfenor's Urn. 3 mana for an artifact. Whenever a creature with toughness 4 or greater is put into your graveyard from the battlefield, you may remove it from the game. At end of turn, if 3 or more cards have been removed from the game with Culfenor's Urn, sack it. If you do, return those cards to play under their owner's control. There's like more of this mechanic than I would think. Like you start exiling things, and then if there's enough cards exiled, then the card blows up, and then you get all the cards back, effectively. Pedgman says that basically there's a physics theory that all matter vibrate at a certain frequency, and that if you are out of phase, you can't interact with matter, and matter can't interact with you. Ooh, interesting. It's good to know. So when I'm attacked, I need to be out of frequency with the world. LN Chen Gaming. Magmatic Core. It's in my cumulative upkeep deck. Magmatic Core. Alright, 4 mana enchantment. Cumulative upkeep 1. At the end of your turn, Magmatic Core deals X damage divided as you choose among any number of target creatures, where X is the number of age counters on it. What is this? So this thing just keeps... But you have to pay 1. So as much mana as you have, you keep... It's just to creatures? Okay, so you can't hit players. This is a pretty wild card. You will deal a lot of damage. If you have a lot of mana up, then you'll deal 1, then 2, 3, 4, then 5, 6, 7. Add that up, that turns into 20 pretty easily. Okay, we have Leonardo. Talk about the Goblin Bomb. All right, tell us. Statistically, you will never reach 5 counters naturally just flipping coins on Goblin Bomb. The tendency is to have the same number of tails and heads. Oh no, that's true. Well, that's not entirely true. I mean, okay, theoretically you should never get there, but practically speaking you will, because what is the odds of the variance hitting 5, like basically 5 more heads than tails? That has to be quantified through some sort of statistic. Very interesting. But anyway, thank you very much for that info. Okay, next we got Blue Bomber. Blue Bomber coming back. Redeeming themselves. Okay, I misunderstood my card. Okay, my card is now Archfiend of the Dross. Oh, we did this one already. But it works. Flying Archfiend of the Dross enters battlefield with 4 oil counters on it. You gotta remove an oil counter every single turn. If you have no oil counters on it, you lose the game. Whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, the controller loses 2 life. Whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, ugh, speed up the game real quick there. Stormwind! Sarkhan the Mad, only minus abilities. We also looked at that one. It's not only minus abilities. You know, at first I was like, I was going to disqualify this thing because you can't kill it. But the 0 actually redeems itself because you reveal a card from the top of your library, you put it into your hand, you lose... it'll deal damage to himself equal to the card's converted mana cost. Stop hitting yourself, Sarkhan. Okay, the show keeps going on so long as we get super chats, I guess. Nathaniel, you did the $1 super chat, which means I gotta dig for your thing. Braid of Fire. For as long as there are super chats, this show goes on. Okay, 2 mana. Enchantment. Cumulative upkeep, add a red to your mana pool. Not bad. Hold on. So how does this... Was this bad? Like... Hold on. What's the downside here? Cumulative upkeep, add a red to your mana pool. So at like one time, this was probably... Oh, so wait, you have to use the mana at your upkeep? Is there like no downside to this? Except maybe mana burn at the time? This is a wild card. Cumulative upkeep, add a red to your mana pool. Then I get 2. Then I get 3. Then I get 4. Then I got 5. They're like the most OP card from a rules change. This card's insane! Like, every red deck should have this. This is completely wild to me. Is it just only bad for mana burn, but mana burn is gone. This is only a $10 card? Are you kidding me? This should be worth way more. This, like, basically it is it should be in every casual commander deck. I guess the problem is you need to get it out on turn 2, 3-ish. Otherwise, you know, turn 5, turn 6, playing a Braid of Fire sort of sucks. But it's only during your upkeep. That's fine. Hey, that mana. I got instants. I got instants to play here. And I know how to play them. What's a red deck without instants? You're doing it wrong. Anyway, very interesting card. Or else you need one of those cards where mana doesn't leave your mana pool as phases end and stuff like that. Steps and phases go on. Okay, next we got Pacers fan forever with the Ground Breaker. the green ball lightning. Green, 6/1 elemental, trample and haste. At end of turn, sacrifice your Groundbreaker. Also, Slavin telling us how to really play standstill. You gotta go with that turn 1 Vial into turn 2 standstill. Alright, next up we've got LNChan Gaming. Heatwave. One of the most annoying cards in cumulative. Here come the cumulative upkeep cards. 3 mana, cumulative upkeep of pay a red. Blue creatures cannot block creatures you control. Non-blue creatures cannot block creatures you control unless their controller pays an additional 1 life for each blocking creature. That is so weird. Blue creatures cannot block creatures you... Blue creatures cannot block creatures you control. Okay, so my opponent's blue creatures, you don't block. Non-blue creatures cannot block creatures you control unless... So you pay a blue... So blue... Forget about it. Forget about the rules. You're just banned from blocking. But if you're non-blue, you can pay a life for blocking my stuff. Weird card. Sand! What do you think about Bounty Agent? Let you know in a second. Bounty Agent, 1 white, 1 generic for a 2/2 human soldier with vigilance. Sack the Bounty Agent! Destroy target legendary permanent. That's an artifact, creature, enchantment. I think the card's broken. That's a wild card. All it needs is... I don't know, it doesn't need anything. You don't even have to pay for the ability. This would see instant modern play if it was still if it still saw play right now. The City of Traders count. I guess so. City of Traders, whenever you play another land, sacrifice City of Traders. No guarantee that you're gonna do. It's like, I guess there's a possibility that you just never play another land. Slavin with Burnt Offering. A black interrupt. Sack a creature. To add that creature's casting cost in any combination of red or black mana to your mana pool. You need that mana. Alright, we got Stormwind. Remember Expedition, like Soul Stare and Colony Heart. Remember Expedition? Such a card you just talk about like those actual expeditions. So let's look at Colony Expedition. The land go-getter, right? It's a 2 mana land enchantment. Landfall, put a counter on it, remove 3 counters. Colony Heart Expedition, sack it, search your library for up to 2 basic land cards, put them onto the battlefield, tap, then shuffle your library. This thing goes boom in a good way. Nathaniel. If you have a Leyline Tyrant out, 2, and slow nuke. What does that mean? Leyline Tyrant. Trying to give me a combo here. Okay, red, 2 generic for a 4/4. You don't lose unspent red mana as steps and phases. That's what we're talking about with that red enchantment. And when Leyline Tyrant dies, you may pay an amount of red. When you do, it deals that much damage to any target. Oh, God. It also goes boom in some sort of way. Bryce. Redemption. Bronze Bombshell. That's the spirit. Bryce here for redemption. Bronze Bombshell, 4 mana, 4/1. When a player other than Bronze Bombshell's owner controls it, that player sacrifices it. If the player does, Bronze Bombshell deals 7 damage to him or... What? Oh, God. It's dangerous to your health. They're gonna kill you. Oh, shiny. Let's pull off the chain and take her with us. Yeah. Little do they know that this is like the Trojan grenade. Pacers fan forever. Parallax Wave or Parallax Tide, do they count? Yes. Parallax Wave. Which one's your favorite? I think Parallax Wave saw more play at the time. White, 2 generic with fading 5. Remove a fade counter from Parallax Wave. Exile target creature. When Parallax Wave leaves the battlefield, each player returns to the battlefield all cards he or she owns, exiled with the Parallax Wave. And okay, let's get one from Stormwing Bottle Gnomes. How do I spell gnomes? Gnomes. 3 mana, 1/3. Sack it, you gain 3 life. It is pathetic, but it counts. Mario! Glenalendra Archmage. Oh! I love this card. Too bad it wasn't 3 mana. Not in love with the new picture. I like the old one. Okay, 4 mana, 2/2. Fairy Wizard with flying. Pay a blue. Sack Glenalendra Archmage. This is something that can explode more than once. Counter target non-creature spell. What is the lore? What is the flavor to, like, persist? You, like, sack yourself and, like, you come back regenerated or something? Your arms came back? Anyway, I love this card. And for as long as it's on the battlefield, it's like I feel like I got a hard counter. You know, basically, anyone you wanna, don't mess with me. I've got the Glenalendra right on the battlefield. You see? Don't make me tap the Glenalendra. Platonic Liquid. We can't end the show with Vexing Devil. Yeah, which is going to get sacked like 99% of the time, or maybe 95. 1 red, 4/3 Devil enters the battlefield. An opponent may have it deal 4 damage to them. If the player does, you got to sacrifice your Vexing Devil. Red burn players when they realize people take the 4 damage more often than they think, and it ends up not really doing what they want to do. All right, Blue Bomber. Did we get the actual bomb in MTG, the Ratchet Bomb? We did. We did do Ratchet Bomb. Not exactly the real ticking time. Is there any, like, real ticking time bomb? Like, and it comes into play with, like, 3 suspend counters and then, like, destroys everything? Yo, little Ted! Pernicious Deed. Another Planeswalker Protection Sweeper. Black, green, 1 generic enchantment. Pay X. Sack it. Destroy each artifact, creature, and enchantment with converted mana cost. X or less. Protection from Planeswalkers. There's a lot of Planeswalker typal decks playing this thing. Oh, we gotta get this one. I'm not leaving the show without Emil suggesting. This one's hilarious. Phyrexian Dreadnought. But you have to cheat this thing in order to not sacrifice it. It's 1 mana, 12/12. It's like actually a pretty useless card, all things considered, if you just play it naturally. It's a 1 mana, 12/12 with trample. It comes into play, sack any number of... you sack a lot of other stuff just to keep it around. You have to sack enough stuff, power 12 or more, or else you have to bury the Phyrexian Dreadnought. And frankly, you're going to bury the damn thing. You're not going to have 12. Nobody has 12. Okay, did I miss any of them? I think I didn't miss anything. That's it. That's the end of the show, people. Hope you liked it. It was so explosive, wasn't it? All right, if you want to be part of the show, don't forget, you got to be here Monday to Friday, 11 o'clock a.m. Central Standard Time. Be there or be square. Thanks, everyone, for supporting the show. Because without that support, I wouldn't be here. But for as long as you support, hey, I'm going to keep being here every morning. We got to thank everyone who's a patron on Patreon, a member on YouTube. Thanks to all the new gifted subs, who's contributed by... I'm not leaving until I get... Who get... Oh, and I saw it in the... Who gifted our subs today? Hold on. I can investigate. Drops Gaming. Thanks for the gifted subs. I really appreciate it. Not a lot of people do that around here. Yeah, Platonic Liquid knows. So the... Okay, now I lost my train of thought. Also, thank you to everyone who super chats, because that also is a great way to support the show and also be part of the show at the same time. But we also got to thank everyone who's here in the morning. People like King Ginger, Pedgeman, Platonic Liquid, Stormwing, Zanzi Patrick, Christopher B, the Jada, Jess, Cute Spider, Emil, Bound Myth, Slavin. We got Kev K, Boulder 101 Arg, the Mr. Deadhead, Erland, Yo Little Ted, Toads. Who else do we got here? Crowcore Games. We got Ryan. So thank you very much for being here, my coffee crew, because without all of you, I wouldn't have a show. So as usual, keep brewing up the coffees, and we'll keep brewing up the magic. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you